Welcome to all. Now we are going to see about 7 laments for the war dead by YEHUDA AMICHAI. Let's see about author introduction. Amichai was born on 3rd May 1924 in Germany. He died on 22nd September 2000 at the age of 76. He was an Israeli poet and author. He was raised speaking both Hebrew and German. His poems, written in Hebrew, have been translated into 40 languages. Entire volume of his work have been published in English, French, German, and Spanish. As a young man, she volunteered and fought in World War II as a soldier in the British Army. Let's see his major works. Amichai's major works. Excel at Home in the year 1998. Not of this time, not of this place in the year 1968. Open, closed, open in the year 2000. Now see about poem. The poem Seven Laments for the War Dead is composed of seven brief poems. The poem is about war, which may be read independently and in need have been published separately. All are united nevertheless by theme, subject, attitude, and continuity of the imagery. Section 1. Mr. Beringer, whose son fell at the canal that stranger dug so ship could cross the desert, crosses my path at Jaffa Gate. He has grown very thin, has lost that's why he floated so lightly in the alleys and get catches in my heart like little twins that drift away. In the section 1, explain about author introduced Mr. Beringer. The first section speak of the simplicity of life and how it's gone before you know. Mr. Beringer's son died at the canal near Jaffa Gate and now he has gone very thin because of the loss his son and now he wanders through alleys. Section 2. As a child, he would mash his potatoes to a golden mush and then you die. A living child must be cleaned when he comes home from playing, but for a dead man, earth and sand are clean water in which his body goes on being bathed and purified forever. Section 2 explain. Section 2 talk about how a child must be clean when he is dirty, but a dead man is bathed eternally by sand and water. In section 3, the tomb of the unknown soldiers across there on the enemy side, a good landmark for gunners of the future, or the war monument in London at Hyde Park Corner, decoded like a magnificent cake, yet other soldier lifting head and rifle, other cannon, other eagle, other stone angel, and the whipped cream of a huge marble flag poured over it all with an expert hand. Explanation. In the third lament, the author emphasizes how soldiers are not respected in death and that all they are other ordinal tomb that no one give respect to, all they are seen in just other fallen soldiers. Section 4. I came upon an old zoology textbook, volume 2, Birds, in sweet phrase an account of the life of the starling swallow, full of mistake in antiquity, Gothic typeface, but full of love too. Our federate friends migrate from us to climes nest, spectacle eagle, speckled egg, soft pilgrim, nightingale of spring, the robin redbreast, year of publication 1913, Germany, on the eve of the war that was to be the ever of all my wars. My good friend who died in my arms in his blood on the sand of Ashod 1948 June. Oh my friend red breasted. Section 4 explanation. In the fourth lament, he talked about his friend died on the sand of Ashod in June of 1948. He relates his friend to a red breasted robin. The name robin refers to the bird in the zoology book. Let's see section 5. Dicky was hit like the water tower at Yad Mordecai hit. A hole in the belly, everything came floating out. But he has remained standing like that in landscape of my memory, like the water tower at Head Mordecai. He felt not far from there, a little to the north near Howlecate. In section 5, poet explained. In the fifth Laments, the author talked about how Dicky was hit at the water tower at Yad Mordecai and how died near Howlecate. Section 6. Is all of this sorrow? I do not know. I stood in the cemetery dressed in the come out flagged cloth of a living man, brown pants and shirt yellow as a sun. Cemeteries are cheap, they do not ask for much. Even the waste baskets are small, made for holding tissue paper, that wrapped flower from the store. Cemeteries are polite and disciplined things. I shall never forget you in French on a little ceramic. I do not know who it is that won't ever forget. He is more anonymous than that one who died. Is all of this sorrow? I guess so. May a find consultate in the building of the homeland. But how long can you go on building the homeland and not fall behind in the triple three side race between consultate and building and death? Yes, all of this sorrow, but leave a little love burying always, like the small bulb in the room of sleeping baby that give him a bit of security and quiet love, though he does not know what the light is or where it come from. In the sixth Laments, the author states that cemeteries are filled with sorrow. He talks about how cheap they are with tissues, wrapped flowers, and small waste bin throughout all the sorrow. The author states that it is still possible to find a tiny bit of love. Section 7. Memorial Day for the War Death. Go track on the grief of all you losses, including a woman who left you to the grief of losing them. Go mix one sorrow with another, like history, that in its economical way. Pain and sacrifice onto a single day for easy reference. Oh, sweet world, soaked like bread in sweet milk for the triple toothless God. Behind all this, some great happiness is hiding. No use crying inside and screaming outside. Behind all this, some great happiness may be hiding. Memorial Day, bitter salt dressed up a little girl with flower. Ropes are strung out the whole length of the route for joining parade. The living and the dead together. Children move with the footsteps of someone else, grief as if picking their way through broken glasses. The flute's mouth will stay bruised for many days. A dead soldier swims among the small head with a swimming motions of the death with the accident error and death have above the place of living water. A flag loses contact with reality and flies away. A store window out with beautiful dresses for women in blue and white, and everything in three languages: Hebrew, Arabic, and death. A great royal beast have been drying all night long under the jasmine, with a mixed stare at the world. A man whose son died in the war walks up the street like a woman with a dead foot inside her womb. Behind all this, some great happiness is hiding. Section 7 Explanation. Lastly, in the seventh lament, he talked about how everyone is affected by the grief of the loss of loved ones to the war. The pain and sorrow has affected everyone, even the children. He says that the three languages are everywhere, that there are Hebrew, Arabic, and death. His favorite line is, "A man whose son died in the war walks up the street like a woman with a dead fetus in her womb." And finally, he ends the laments with, "Behind all is some great happiness is hiding." Thank you.